Hi, everybody. Party in the house. Happy Wednesday. Hello, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We are live. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to coach live for a few minutes on why your limiting beliefs are not your reality. It's going to be super fire sauce. And then hop off if you want. But if you stay 5-10 minutes in, I don't know, just like some things I want to throw out into the universe. So if you're joining me live, I'm not going to see all your comments because of the platform limitations, but tell me where you're calling from. Let me know that you're here. Say hi, send me some love, and I am giving that all back to you. Like, listen, I don't know about you, but I'm going to have to assume you have limiting beliefs like I do, right? Oops. It's like, am I good enough? Right? Did I make the right choice? Should I have done this? Is this thing happening to me or for me? What does this all look like? And listen, like, you probably don't know the way my bank account knows, but like I have been investing in coaches and mentors like my entire career. You might have heard the story if we know each other, but like, hi, by the way, let me make some introductions in case we don't. My name is Kristen Gutierrez. I'm a best-selling author of Be a Better Sales Leader. I am an international keynote speaker talking on topics like getting out of your own way, moving the dial 1%, action is your superhero strength, and I do a whole lot of awesome other things. So we're going to get into that. But back to limiting beliefs. I have invested time, money, energy into coaches and mentors to helping me get out of my own way. I have a system that in order to take massive action, in order to not just buy a thing and let it sit on my shelf, in order to really get the most out of my job or the most out of the thing that I am trying to do, part of that system is deciding. So like, can you raise your hand and say me in the chat right now if you're willing to decide that you're worth it? Because we think you're worth it. I think you're worth it. And I don't even know who you are. I don't have your limiting beliefs. Our limiting beliefs come to us in the form of filters that we experience going through life, being raised in the city or home or town that we were raised in, all of the things we went through as kids and as young adults, whether we went to college or not, graduated high school or not, like everything that we go through creates experiences for ourselves to remember. And we either associate positive or negative with these experiences. And when the experiences are negative, whether they are or not, when our filters of life say that like, hey, this was a negative experience, then it starts to layer on. But like you multiply that, like who was at my Juntos keynote in Lima? I talked so much about distractions, but like the bigger point about distractions is the comparison game. Say me in the chat if you're like me and you're scrolling through social media, comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reels. It's just like this world that we live in right now. Okay. And we have to be able to get out of our own heads and say, just because somebody else is doing that, don't compare my beginning to someone else's middle or end. If you're watching this live, thank you. Yes, write middle to end in the chat and let me know that like you're hearing me. We cannot compare our beginning to someone else's middle or end. It's like Have you been working for a year or for 15 years? Are you leaning into your thought leadership? Are you speaking on stages in your industry for free? Are you contributing to articles on LinkedIn? Or are you all of a sudden posting your very first post on LinkedIn or your 50th post? And does somebody comment so harmlessly on your post or drop in your DMs to give you some feedback that you didn't necessarily want? About, oh, you always post selfies, for example. This is like some feedback, right? And you're like, well, I don't know, do I? Right? Like, I'm just being me. And that's what you think is I post selfies, but this isn't how we react. Typically, we're like, oh my gosh, I always post selfies. And now I start having filters and creating limiting beliefs in myself that if I post this next thing tomorrow or next week or in an hour, is somebody going to think, well, there she goes again, the girl that always posts selfies? So there's consistently throughout everyday life, because of this beautiful blessing called social media, this way that I'm able to stream to like 5 different channels right now. I mean, how incredible is this? But also there are limiting beliefs that we subconsciously or consciously carry around with us from the beginning of time. Now, I'm going to pause there because I didn't know I was going to say this. There's somebody in my life. Her name is Dr. Andrea Vitz. I'm going to tag her when we're done here. She is amazing. She does emotional sobriety training. And I came to her last fall, just like in a complete desperate state. Someone's like, you got to talk to Andrea. You got to talk to Andrea. And listen, it's not that I hadn't been looking for a therapist or tried a few different options, et cetera, before. And, I'll let Andrea describe what she is. She'll call herself a coach, an emotional sobriety coach, not a doctor of therapy. But instantly, one session with her, there's something about the way she talks, about the way she gets you to reflect. Not only had me in tears in a good, like cathartic release of a way, but I felt changed instantly. And then, of course, I invested in her coaching to continue to help me move through very difficult seasons of life. And I'm like, Andrea, my friend, like I will pay to have you in my back pocket every quarter upon quarter for the rest of all time, because how you helped me in this area of my life, I truly feel like you could help me in 15 other areas. She's so amazing that she has agreed to come to the Say Yes and Figure It Out Masterclass that we are doing live for free. Somebody say free in the chat. 4 hours on Saturday, April 27th. We're going live, and Dr. Vitz will be there to talk with us about this concept of emotional sobriety and how you can have the transformations that I've had and that hundreds of other people that she has coached has. So there's like so many ways to overcome our limiting beliefs. And you can invest in a mentor or a coach, or you can listen. There's an exercise that I was taught in my real estate investing days. I used to speak on stages for Dean Graziosi when he was still like a big man in a small city. He did the Scottsdale, Arizona event every single year. And, we'll tell that story a different day, but he always coached on this concept called the why that makes you cry and 7 levels deep. Right. So I coach on this too in my behind the scenes community, because I think that like our mindset, these limiting beliefs that we carry around, like we are better than this. This is not my reality. Can I, should I, did I? My reality is what I actually breathe into existence. And if you have a why that makes you cry, if you have strategies like a coach or mentors to gain clarity, then you can get out of your own way. So like, let me leave you on this topic with this. You need to get really honest with yourself. I mean, I did. Like, do you really want it? You don't get what you want because you get what you are. Think about that for a second. You get what you are. So if I am full of doubt, I'm going to get back doubt. I need, and one would argue you need. I needed someone in my corner. I've got coaches and mentors, right? I need people in my corner that exude the confidence for me. In the months or the seasons or the days that I don't have any, I need to have their confidence in me breathed into me so that I know no matter if I have a big following, because I don't, or not, right? That I needed to get clear. And this clarity, right? You need to get clear and take the time to decide, am I worth it? Am I going to get out of my own way? Your addiction, one of my mentors said, your addiction to affliction is costing you a fortune. What does that mean for you as a leader or as a 7-8 figure entrepreneur, as a business owner? Your addiction to affliction is costing you a fortune. The mind tries to make things hard and complex. It's simple. Like, lean in, ask for help. Do you really want it? The goal that you're chasing this quarter, the thing that you're pouring your heart and soul in, do you really want it? And are you ready and willing to get past the excuses? If you are, I totally invite you to join me for the Say Yes and Figure It Out Masterclass on April 27th, sayyesandfigureitout.com. We will link it in the comments on all the various platforms. Okay, so that is my coaching for today. Now, if you're still here, say I'm here in the chat, and maybe I can ask something of you or just kind of give you things that I'm looking for. So in addition to filling my masterclass, this free event. And yes, you know what? There is a VIP ticket that goes with the event. If you want to spend an extra hour with me that day and asking your questions and getting your answers and meeting other people who are up leveling in their work and in their life, I invite you to join us in VIP. I've got extra giveaways, extra videos, and we'll have a private behind the scenes VIP group just for us. It is going to be amazing. If you are a podcast host or know of podcast hosts, my one ask is, could you put me in touch? And I say this for two reasons. One, I got on a call yesterday and she was so cute. She's like, I have your book. I'm like, oh my gosh. We tried to take a picture and it didn't work out. So we're like, we'll retake the picture. So yes, like, this book is there's so much gold in this book. I get the feedback from everyone all the time. And you must know I am so grateful for that feedback. As it continues to come in, it's a great chance to share on various podcast shows why my 3 pillars of being a better leader, whether you're in sales or not, being a better leader, help leaders grow their teams, why they help leaders get out of their own way, why they help leaders inspire their teams to take action, manage their manager, right? Invest in themselves with continuous learning. And I would be honored to be on more podcasts and share that message. But I also have something to offer. Yes. This platform that I'm so known to go live on, we were doing a Thursday morning live, every week. I'm going to 10x everything I'm doing in life. Like, can I get a cheers? This is just sparkling water, don't worry. But can I get a cheers in the chat? Guys, life is too short to be living in our limiting beliefs. And I'm just going to 10x everything. So if you know of yourself or anybody who has a podcast or an event and they want a platform to share on, I am willing to share my platform with everybody. We can come in, do a live chat. We can do introductions. I can ask you all the questions about your show, about your expertise, about your event. I would absolutely love to host you here. So it's a double-sided ask and an offer in that if you know of podcast hosts looking for guests, please send them my way. And if you know of hosts or experts or event coordinators or who are looking for platforms to promote, this can be that platform. Other than that, let's talk quickly about keynotes, consulting, and workshops. Okay, I share all the time in my behind the scenes community, like, a lot of people are new in my community, and I've said over the past couple of weeks, like, let me level set on what my expertise is so that I can best serve you. Because people come into my community and then they can ask any question about anything they need. And like people in my community, they typically need things in this stratosphere: sales, moving the needle, culture, leadership, executive alignment, anything and everything to do with the language services industry. Because I've served 20 years of my career, 21 years of my career in the language services industry, this community is often serving localization industry folks with like who are owners and who are contributors and who are leaders on moving the needle. Like, what are the various strategies to setting meetings and breaking into a new territory or finding like for like accounts or niching down? We talk about all of that, and it's really just pure magic. I love it. But other things I coach on in the community and outside of it is thought leadership. You must know that like I am so dang passionate about helping people climb the corporate ladder. And I really feel like it's a two-pronged approach. One of these areas is thought leadership. And another one is internally, like raising your hand to ask for more things to do so that you can be seen to the business as somebody who is going above and beyond. We can talk about that another day. The thought leadership piece is so critical. It's like, I didn't grow up wanting to write a book. If you wanted to write a book, tell me in the chat how long you've wanted to write a book. I think that like there's two schools of thought. I literally woke up one day in February of 2023 and said I should write a book. And then I learned a framework in which how to write the book in 3 months. And it just like the book itself doesn't create millions of dollars, but it for sure creates opportunity to share your expertise and to up level you as a resource. So whether you're looking to write a book or more specifically wanting to increase your thought leadership, whether it's writing a book, getting on podcasts, speaking at industry events, or whatever industry you might be speaking at events, I can help you. I have the strategies, and we can riff on things that work and things that don't and things you've tried and try to figure out. So companies bring me in to coach them in a workshop style on what we typically call executive presence. I have seen executive presence as a concept like being wild hotcakes right now. It's like awesome sauce. It's like mega ninja. Executive presence, it includes this thought leadership piece. But think about like big tech companies who don't really want or can't afford their people to go out and talk a bunch in public. So executive presence means so much more than that. It's how to show up to meetings prepared, how to like dress for the job you want, not for the job you have, how to negotiate, right? Or the art of saying no. So there's various components that go typically into an executive presence workshop. And I can't wait for you guys to hear one of the companies that is bringing me in, this mega national sporting association is bringing me in to coach a group of like 20 leaders on executive presence. And this is another thing that I coach on in my community, but more importantly, I would love to coach you and your organization. Another company that I was talking to, they have a mid-level layer of leaders. Like it's like the group of leaders that just got promoted. This executive presence workshop is so good for them. Another workshop that goes like time and time again is this concept of seller's mindset. Because can I get the word sales in the chat if you believe that whether you're in sales or not, we're all in sales? My sister is an attorney and she's in sales. My other sister is selling, she sells. She's in the hearing aid business and she's in sales, right? But like the thing is, sales is the transfer of energy and information, right? But it's like whether you're in customer service or customer success, one of my clients is a chief customer officer, and she doesn't have a sales background. And all of a sudden, at this new company, in this new CCO role, she's managing a sales team. And it's like, not like physically the team, but like, it's like how to move the needle, how to talk sales. But like other clients I've had in the language services space, they have project management teams and they don't think that they're in sales. And I get that. But like ultimately, are you interacting with customers? Then the answer probably is that you're in sales, or that you should adopt a seller's mindset, or like this concept of writing the emails and being able to like interact with the client. And like, I have this motto in life. I just shared it yesterday on a LinkedIn post. It's always ask one more question. And every time I don't do that for myself, I'm like, oh man, I should have asked one more question, because that is applicable even in a project management role. When you're delivering a file, you're delivering a project, you have an opportunity in that delivery. Is there anything else I can help you with? Do you have any other colleagues at your company who might need our services? Whatever you're selling, right? And so I wanted to get on and share a little bit about that. And lastly, I would say two more things, if you'll allow me. I would say keynotes, right? I mean, Lima was incredible. You can check out kristengutierrez.co, or you could check out my YouTube channel. I'll try to put the links in the show notes without making it overwhelming. But Kristen, Gutierrez.co, it has a keynote tab, and it talks about some of the keynotes that I want to give. And the reality is, like, let's dial back, like, what does a keynote mean, right? Do you have an event? Or are you an association in any industry, and you need a speaker to be able to come up and say, here are some actionable strategies that you can apply right now, or right when you go back to your hotel room, or right when you get back to your desk, that would be applicable to you and your roles or your business? And are you looking for that speaker, presenter, to have a little bit of fun and to inspire the audiences along the way? So I'm not going to hide behind the fact that, like, obviously, like, I bring this energy all day to everything. I love, like, when people comment on my energy, because energy is infectious, right? And so I try to inspire the audiences, but by giving them the actionable strategies, like the real tools. It's not just fluff. It's actually like, this is what you do to move the needle. Then I would be delighted to talk with you about how I can have that impact for your audience. And I really welcome the opportunity to meet with more people who might have conferences or workshops coming up, or offsites, or all hands, or events that they would need a speaker to come in and talk about anything that's like in my realm of sweet spots. And finally, yeah. So, like, one thing I've loved to do, and I'm going to do a post in a couple days, because depending on when you watch this video, like, we're coming up on the year of me being out on my own. I cannot believe what a year it's been. And one thing that brings me immense joy and fulfillment is consulting businesses, no matter the industry, in order to move the needle. One of my favorite clients in the last year has been a cannabis company. And the cannabis industry, no matter what state you live in, is booming. And I won't get into the specifics, but let's just say it's an industry that's really prime for the strategies in this book, but also like my ninja strategies for how to do the dang thing within their role, within their industry. My sweet spot is coming in to coach and mentor a leader in the industry, and having that leader then inspire their team with actionable strategies. I'm going to a conference in Chicago later this month to speak on AI in sales, a staffing conference. So, like, how to use AI to our benefit, but keep the human touch, because I don't know about you, I don't want to be sold to by a robot. And I don't know about you, but I can tell when the content is too scripted, or it came right out of a chatbot engine like ChatGPT, right? I mean, I love ChatGPT, but at the same time, it's like how to keep the human element to it. And I'm doing 2 workshops back to back at this conference later this month in Chicago, and for the staffing industry. And obviously, having spent 20 years in the localization industry, welcoming once again clients who are looking for leadership or sales strategies, one-off workshops, or 2-3 month consulting engagements. That is my jam. So thank you so much for being here to talk about your limiting beliefs are not your reality. If there's anything I can do for you, book a call. Let's get on a meeting. I'm giving all my time away in my calendar for free right now to try to move your needle 1%. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, comment at me below, book a meeting, or